Welcome and thank you for your patience. Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our first episode of the C15 show. And welcome, family, friends, folks, well-wishers, supporters, but more importantly, you, the creatives. This is for you. And we decided to come to you live and direct so that you can get a better understanding of what C15 is about and what services we're offering. It's also the intention to build a community of creative entrepreneurship across the Caribbean. And also we want to inspire you, the creatives, to really live your artistic dreams and to make them be a reality. So we've decided to do this once a month, and we'll have guests, mentors, colleagues who are working with us. And this evening, it's only fitting to have my two first guests as the people responsible for me being here at C15, Mr. Kerwyn and Elizabeth Montano. Thank you so much for joining our first episode of the C15 show. And welcome, family, friends, folks, well-wishers, supporters, but more importantly, you, the creatives. This is for you. And we decided to come to you live and direct so that you can get a better understanding of what C15 is about and what services we're offering. It's also the intention to build a community of creative entrepreneurship across the Caribbean. And also we want to inspire you, the creatives, to really live your artistic dreams and to make them be a reality. So we've decided to do this once a month, and we'll have guests, mentors, colleagues who are working with us. And this evening, it's only fitting to have my two first guests as the people responsible for me being here at C15. Mr. Kerwyn and Elizabeth Montano, and we'll be hearing from them later on this evening. So really excited to have them as my first guests. Well, a lot of you know me from behind the scenes, creating the magic and making things happen, very rarely in front of the camera. So this is a big step for me. 2022 is a milestone year. And I've decided to embrace it fully and step into my discomfort. Yes, hashtag this is 60. So I've been working for over 30 years in the Caribbean creative economy and building it out. And as you know, it hasn't been, it's not always an easy task, of course, because, we've been struggling for funding for many, many years. But it has been very rewarding. And one thing I have to say is that, when you witness people discovering our music or fashion or films or culture or joie de vivre for the first time, it uplifts you. It gives me, that has been my reward every time. I'm the kind of person who will cry in a carnival fete just from the emotion of seeing people having a good time. Yes, that's me. So anyway, I was out there minding my own business, as they say, drinking my water, minding my business, and, doing my freelance work, working with extraordinary people, doing great projects. And the universe conspired to bring this opportunity to me, and the people behind the conspiracy are here with us this evening. So I thank them because it is a great milestone also for me to be in this position and to leave my freelance work and to step into a role that I think is really important and crucial, because what C15 is attempting to do is quite unique. So let's talk about C15, what is it? What is C15 Studios? On our website, we say we are cash flow solutions for the Caribbean creative sector, but what does that really mean? And if you all have seen our logo is a link. It resembles a link or an infinity sign. And really, we want to be the integral link between the creatives, the Caribbean creatives, and the financial sector. And we're going to do that because we have infinite possibilities, because you, the creatives, have infinite talent. And that C15 stands for Caribbean, stands for creative. And the 15 is 15 sectors that we've initially identified, and you can get the full list of them on our website, c15studios.com. So what are we offering? What are the products, you know? And, you know, they're going to say, well, yes, what is the financing? So we have different financing opportunities, and these will be developed in the different programs as we go through the months. Tonight is like an intro into who we are and what we are about, and we'll elaborate as we go along. We can't reveal everything on the first episode, can we? So one of our initial programs is called Accelerate, where we are actually purchasing contractual commitments that you may have from sponsors, purchasers, pre-sales on a film, or you know, advertisers, corporate clients that you may have. So we help you accelerate your cash flow by advancing that money to you ahead of the due date. So that way you can, you know, outfit, build out whatever it is. So you can get more information on that. We have a full deck, and you know, you can request it, send an email to hello@c15studios.com, and we'll forward it to you. And of course, we can meet with you to discuss it more in detail if you have questions. And of course, if you do have questions tonight, you can put them in the chat. We have some time for question and answers towards the end of the program. The other opportunity we have, of course, is capital investment. So that is when we look to invest in the equity and the actual, be it your project, your initiative, or you know, your investment or idea. So that's the capital investment. Again, we can develop on that, and we will have what we call onboarding forms on our website, where it will, you know, take you through a process to register and to, you know, maybe apply or request a meeting for this. And then a third arm, if you want, is C15 distribution, and we're building that out, and we have a lot to talk about on that front in the coming months. So that's really exciting. So that is kind of C15 in a airbrush. And as I said, we will develop it more. And I think it's about the right time now to actually bring on our first guest. So our first guest is actually the founder. I say he's the founder of C15. We've given him a title. He's a strategic investment manager, if you want. But really, he is the CEO of KCL Capital Brokers, and he is the MD, Managing Director of Aspire Fund Management, of which C15 is a subsidiary. So let's welcome Mr. Kerwyn Valley. Kerwyn, good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, Lorraine, on your 60th season, let's say. And I'm glad that you are part of this journey. So I'm really happy to be here.
Great. So let me put you on the spot one time. So the burning question is, why? Why would companies investing in traditional financial products and services want to take on something that's considered so risky by the banks and the investors? Why C15 Studios?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I think it is very much that reason. Why does it work in other markets? Why do other markets have Hollywood, Bollywood, and Nollywood? And where's ours? So what we're trying to do at KCL and Aspire is look for those sectors of our economy that we think are underrepresented on the world stage, not because of lack of skill or capability, but somehow lack of access. So ideally, what we try to do is invest in companies that are leaders in those given sectors. So when it came to the creative sector and looking to invest, we were saying, who's driving our Hollywood, our Nollywood. And we couldn't find a leading company. Maybe it's because of our own ignorance, I don't know. But at the time we started, we couldn't identify who that party was. So we said, okay, maybe we should start it ourselves. And like anything else, we get into the laboratory and we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? And finally, through the assistance of some of the people on the panel tonight and you, we're able to get to this point. But really, that's how we started C15. That's the why. How do we get our creative product to a global market?
Well, that's amazing. And we really thank you for that, because, you know, somebody like us creatives, because I'm putting myself in that us, or the global we. I always remember my partner for many years, Rosa Sajikaya, whenever we said we, should say, who's we? You know, who's the royal we? But yes, we are very happy that C15 exists. And I want to take that a little further with you and find out, so what is your long-term vision for the Caribbean creative sector, and by extension, the Caribbean artists, you know? What is your long-term vision of that?
Well, thank you. And I guess I'll start with, in the short term, to do this, we had to figure out, or still learning. Every day is a learning. And with the help of the people in the sector, the people in the creative economy, hopefully we get better each and every day. And then we recognize we're going to stumble. But we started trying to figure out what has been the barrier. And for us, it starts as a language barrier, you know, and the language barrier is, we speak finance and investments. And the creative sector, art, creativity, entertainment. Where is that intersection? How do we get to understand what the other needs in order to make this work? So that's the first place, trying to get to a shared language, you know, because a lot of times people say, why aren't you investing in this art? And on the other side, the finance people saying, why is this investment so risky? It's not an investment then, we're speculating. How do we get it so that capital comes off the sidelines, because we want to support the industry? So we start there. But the long-term vision for C15 is to really be that. One of our colleagues that helped us build this out, he would say, you know what, C15 could be the Panama Canal is, and be that channel to get Caribbean creative content out to the world. So if we can assist in access with capital, with some business knowledge, and you can assist us to understand the sector better and the sector's needs, and then we position so that the creatives can compete on the world stage. And when they can do that, they can bring income back to Caribbean shores, right? There's, some say 40 million of us. Well, there's 7.8 billion people in the world. And if we can get our infinite, as you mentioned, creative product out to a world audience, I think it can only redound to the Caribbean's benefit.
Amazing. And actually that takes me to say, so our mission at C15 Studios is actually to take the Caribbean creative economy to the world as we link creatives and finance in a sustainable and profitable environment. So this is really important for us, that everybody benefit, that we start making real money while we do this, you know, like, so be it from the creatives to the financiers, because a lot of the time, you know, the creatives often feel that it's just the financial sector making the money. So this is where we want to change that paradigm. We want to change that notion. We want to work with you, you know, to build out your business for it to be successful for everybody. And as Kerwyn said, we are setting a model. A lot of what we're going to be doing in the next couple of months, years, may not have even been tried in the Caribbean. So, you know, also we want to ask you all to bear with us as we explore this together, because we want to make products that work for you, you know, that work for you. So thank you so much, Kerwyn. I think that's great. And I really appreciate your input this evening. I know, like me, you're not very much in front of the camera person, but you handled it great. And I wasn't going down alone. So I'm glad you joined me here this evening.
Can I turn off my camera now?
You can turn it off, because now we have to bring on my second guest this evening. And I actually refer to her as the Grande Dame. La Grande Dame, I'll say it in French, La Grande Dame of Caribbean entertainment, management of Caribbean entertainment. She embodies creative entrepreneurship, she and her family, actually, and I want to say that she has, played a pivotal role. Well, let me call her name first, Elizabeth Montano. I call her Lady. She has played a pivotal role in the life of so many, including mine, by her nurturing and her tough love. But she's one of these loyal, dedicated, hardworking people that you can only admire. And for me, she is one of my mentors. I mean, we've known each other for over 25 years. We've worked together. We have conspired. We have, collaborated. And I would say one of our most exciting projects together was the Bazodi movie that she was determined to do. And I stood right by her side there, and we made it happen. And that was a milestone in Caribbean cinema, as we know. So she's always reinventing herself. Of course, I have to mention that her greatest achievements may have been Machel Montano and her son Marcus, who, as we know, are both very, very successful. But Lady Montano still has a lot to come, because actually she launched during the pandemic the Montano's Chocolate Company, where her whole family, including her grandchildren, are involved in producing local high quality chocolate and distributing it to the world. But now in 2022, Lady has written a book. So let's bring on Mrs. Montano so that she can tell us. Let's start by, welcoming her to join us.
Hello, good evening.
Lady.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good
Thank
evening.
you for having me and making me blush.
Oh.
Well, it's
more than, yes, very, very well-deserved accolades. I'm sure I'm not the only one to say this. And you have taught a lot of us so many. And I really, so I'm all excited about this book, because I know it's another journey for you. It's another adventure. So tell us a little bit, how did you come to writing the book?
Oh, well, first to begin, I'm what you call a perpetual student. I've been going to school all my life. I am now 71, going on to 72. And I said, well, this is it. No more Elizabeth, you had enough, I think early in the 2003, I went and I did a postgraduate ACEM diploma, which was in entertainment management. And then like the bug bit me again, because I got a distinction. And when I did, I said, oh gosh, this old woman bride boy, let me try something again. Because I did my education, I studied education and guidance and counseling. Although I spent so many years managing, I didn't have any background or qualification in management. So I went and I did ACEM. And then I said, let me do something again. So I did my MPhil in cultural studies. And this is where I chose as my thesis, well, the thing that I'm most familiar with, and that's Machel Montano. So I was looking at how creativity and how collaboration affected popular culture. And I use it to examine Machel's work and see how, although he collaborated and he experimented, he never lost that authentic culture as such. And I was very successful. However, during that time, I became ill. So I didn't get my distinction in the thesis, but I got my distinction in theory. And then they said, doctorate. I said, no. That's it. And then the pandemic came up in 2000. And I had promised that since I didn't do the doctorate, I would think I will turn this into a book. But the thing is, my thesis was so academic, I could not just publish it as it is, because I wanted to get this message out to the fan, to the layman, and also at the same time to the academic. And what I thought was that the Caribbean stories must be told. And I think that experiencing Machel's journey and all the stories and experiences and information and misinformation about him, I think that I am the person who should tell this story. And therefore I looked at, well, it's now 40 years. This year we are
right. That's what I wanted you to say. It's 40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
Machel is 47. So he's been in this at a very high level from the age of 7. And both Monty and I have been supporting him. And what I wanted to do is, being the teacher, I have been a teacher all my life. This is really my original profession. I always like to teach. You know that. I always like to share knowledge, because I told my children, knowledge means nothing if you don't share it. And I have all this thing in my head, and I do not want to move on and not share it with others. And this is how I went into it. But my greatest challenge was transitioning from academic writing to conversational, because now we want to really grab the reader who will be interested in something like this. So this is where I am. I'm finished writing it, but my coach and editor is very, So we're looking at releasing it in April.
Great. Well, that is incredible. And we're very, can I say the title?
No.
Okay. So we can't let you all know the title yet, but look out for the book coming out in April and marking the 40th anniversary of Machel Montano in the soca business. Incredible. Well, the music business, we could say, you know, really what a history. And I'm sure we're all looking forward to reading about that. So lady, tell me a little bit, C15 Studios, actually, you've been involved with them for a while. So before I came to here, before you instigated that I be here, tell us a little bit of how your involvement with them happened and what transpired.
Well, we worked with them before they were C15. Mm-hmm. I worked with Kerwyn when they were KCL, as part of KCL. But even before that, when they had interest in us many years, they wanted Machel to I think it was a Walkman at that time, and they wanted him to be part of that project. But of course it didn't happen, you know, when we go back and forth. Mm-hmm. And then we had Bazidi. Bazidi came up, and we were looking for sponsors, and we were looking for people to invest. And again, Kerwyn came. And again, it didn't happen. But you know, life, you can't really run away from it. And then we started working on Bazidi, you and I, and we were successful, and somebody came forward to distribute. And then this is where KLC came into the picture, where they assisted in financing the distribution. And then our friendship and partnership and collaboration grew. And then, of course, I'm always passing information. So I know that Kerwyn and they are involved in finances, but I also know that he is interested in creatives. So I would share some of my experience there and encourage him, advise him, talk to him, and then recommend. And that is where it is today, where we are going again into partnerships, and he is supporting still Bazidi and getting Bazidi out to more audiences. And I think we're going to build the creatives, not just of Trinidad and Tobago, but of the Caribbean, because our stories must be told.
Exactly. Our stories must be told. And, you know, it's so important. And that's kind of my next question for you. Like, how important do you see the entrepreneurship as a creative? You know, like, how important do you see, you know, Machel and yourself have always been looking at the business side as well. And, you know, do you think that that is necessary as a creative?
Well, you see, if you look now at the pandemic, it is a great advantage because if you are not an entrepreneur, then you depend on the government and you depend on other people. Luckily for us, we just had that by instinct, Monty, myself, then Marcus and Machel from very early. But I think being independent is important. So therefore, when something like the pandemic came, we were prepared because we already knew we had nobody to turn to generally, so that we never really sat down and waited. We always plan ahead because that is something you have to do as an entrepreneur. You're not sure what is going to come up because when you start, and our story is, when we started, nobody wanted to help this little boy from the country. So fortunately for us, as a parallel, both my husband and I were professionals, and he took his first loan to produce Machel's album, right? Because nobody wanted to help. So that nobody wanted to go into that because, as you were saying, it's risky. Everybody is into energy, is into becoming doctors, because all these things seem to be so well set, where it is so risky. You don't want to spend your money on people in the creatives. But if you are a business person, or if you are an entrepreneur, it is important, therefore, that once you build in that, you have to build excellence. You have to work hard. You have to pay attention to standards. You have to be conscious because you cannot depend on anybody. But when you're doing that, you are going to build. You are going to build on your experience, on your potential, on your excellence, on your quality, on your standards, so that therefore people will now want to invest in you as an entrepreneur. But then you are always there to do your own thing. Because, for example, we are in entertainment, but we have now diversified into several different businesses. One being the chocolate. Now I'm going into writing. Machel is going into something else. Marcus is another thing. Monty is running. We are also in real estate, and Monty is running our villa in Toko, and things are going on. But we have had this background, so therefore it has become easy for us. And therefore, with the pandemic, it wasn't difficult, because we know what it is to struggle, we know what it is to prepare, we know what it is to depend on ourselves, and we know what it is to deal with obstacles, challenges, and everything, so that we can't say, well, oh gosh, I want a check from the government, and you're waiting and waiting, you know. So I think it is a very positive thing that has come out of the pandemic, is that many creatives have become, or have been forced to become, entrepreneurs, have been forced to become their own bosses. And it's working. We no longer have to go to the office. We no longer have to do it. We could do something from our home and do it successfully. So I think that now entrepreneurship is the big thing.
Yes. Yes, I agree. The word pivot. So a lot of people have, you know, changed their field or developed into a new area. And I think, Lady, you gave us some gems there, you know, really gems. I hope the creatives who are listening really took note. Strive for excellence. You know, if you want people to look at you to invest, you have to show, you know, a certain levels of excellence, diligence, you know, hard work. Success doesn't come without hard work. There's no, so thank you for those. I mean, those were really gems and very on point. So thank you so much, Lady, for sharing that with us and for being with us this evening. Really appreciated that you took the time out.
Thank you.
We reached the point, I mean, the time is going and it's been a lot of fun so far, but we're coming down, we're winding down, but now it's your turn to ask some questions. I mean, if we have anybody who wants to jump on and ask a question live, or if Maria, who is helping in the background, wants to read out a question to me, I'm willing here to take any of your questions. It's a good question. So we are not really going to provide advice in all those areas, but we will help you build up and reach out. So we have a network, obviously, and we will work with you. We don't have in-house those services, but we will help you find the right services, find the right people. And of course, if we are working with you and investing in your company or your project, we are going to try, all of us are going to work together to try and make it successful. So, you know, we would recommend the right people to help you build that out. I do. Yeah. I read every script that's sent to me, and I have quite a few in front of me right now. I've read every single one, and actually I enjoy it because it gives me a better understanding of the project and what it's going to be. So yes. Okay, so C15 at its core is a financial solutions company. So we are really, you coming to us for us to partner with you from a financial standpoint. So we are not necessarily going to recommend an agent, or, I mean, we could, but we would be hoping that you would come to us with these things, or saying that, well, I want to find an agent. This is the book. You know, where should I go? As we build out, and as I said earlier too, we are building out our capacity as well. So we are looking in the different areas and our different sectors. We are looking for specialists to work with us as well. So, you know, I hope that answers your question. But what I want you all to understand is that we are not production services company in that sense, you know, so we're not like facilitating production, or we're not supplying legal services, or helping you build a budget or things like that. No, we wouldn't be doing that. So for music, of course, you know, there are different levels with music that we could discuss, because we will have different projects that we are releasing, especially the C15 distribution side. So, you know, what I'm trying to say is, if you have a strategy of how you want to release, or you want to penetrate the world, you know, come and talk to us about it. And that's where we see how we can support you with it. So we're not going to hold your hand and help you write your project, but we'll definitely help you take that project to the world once it has all the elements in place. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to have some onboarding forms on our website where you can fill out. You can also write us directly, hello@c15studios.com. Of course, the more complete the proposal, the more chance that you have of being, you know, considered and even accepted. A lot of time people are coming to us still in early stages, which is fine. I mean, you know, we don't want to turn away anybody, and I want everybody to keep that hope, you know, and that desire to get their project done. So you can come and talk to us. We're very accessible. As I said, reach out, hello@c15studios.com, go on our website. We can send you more material. We have decks for the different products that I talked about today. And then we can walk you through some of these, and, you know, we can meet with you. You can request a meeting. So we're very accessible. We've actually gone a little over our time, but that is fine because, you know, we're having fun, and I hope you all have all, found this informative and will be joining us again for episode 2. I just want to say, well, we want to announce the winner. So I just want to pull up on my phone, excuse me for a minute. It is, so we have this hamper of Cocoa Body products. So Cocoa Body, for those who don't know, I think it's one of the best kept secrets in Trinidad. Actually, they're one of our clients, and they make this amazing natural soap made locally, all natural and very reasonable price point. The soap is also endorsed by Patrice Roberts, and they have graciously, yes, first episode, and we have a giveaway. They have graciously given us a hamper, which should be beside me, but it's not. Anyway, we have a winner, and it's a lady. Oh gosh, I just had it up. Hold 1 second, because I have to put on the glasses. And she is Charlene Sadler. So congratulations, Charlene. You've won yourself a hamper of Cocoa Body products, and you can contact us at hello@C15 Studios to arrange to collect or for us to get it to you, right? So thank you so much, everybody. Before we wrap up, I have to make mention of some of the key people who facilitated this evening and made this possible. First of all, Maria Lewis, our PR and communication specialist, who is responsible for doing, for our graphics on our Facebook and Instagram. And a lot of times she might be your first point of contact when you reach out to us. So thank you so much, Maria, for pushing me to do this, because it was a good idea. And then, of course, I have to thank my husband, Selwyn Henry, who, without hesitation, is there to do all my adventures. So right now, my living room is a TV set, and there are lights everywhere. So thank you, Selwyn, for making this happen. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I wasn't able to read all the comments. I'll go back and do it because, I'm trying to keep the flow of the evening of the show. I hope you all enjoyed it. And for those who are there, my friends, my colleagues and all that, any feedback, I'm open to it. Be gentle though, don't be too harsh, because I am sensitive. But wishing you all a great night, and I hope to hear from you all. Write to us, email us, reach out. C15 Studios is going to be a game changer in the Caribbean creative landscape. If all the time you all felt you all were in a tunnel, we are holding up a light at the end of that tunnel, and we are lighting it up for you. So please reach out. Good night, everybody. Thank you.